a new musical about the life of Diana, Princess of Wales, taking place in London this week. It is, thank heavens, a one-off presentation of the 2021 Broadway musical. Oh, I didn't know that was happening. Anyway, that was subsequently broadcast on Netflix, also home to The Crown, where, of course, Diana features prominently.
Well, it comes as this summer marked 26 years since the death of the former Princess of Wales. The royal biographer Michael Cole says human interest dictates that we must continue to share Diana's story, whilst the etiquette expert Liz Brewer thinks that it's time we stop dragging Diana's name through the mud. Well, let's start with you, Michael. I'm probably inclined to agree with you in the sense that I remember her from living memory, but I also am guilty of wanting to tune in and watch the latest episodes of The Crown, and, you know, I can see that Diana still has a draw.
Good morning, Isabel. Good morning, Stephen. It's regrettable in many ways, and it's hard to bear for the families most intimately involved. But I have to tell you, 100 years from now, there'll be grand opera, ballets, plays, television series, books, articles about the lady we're seeing depicted on the screen there, the much-missed Diana. Her spell is unbroken. It's a little bit like the death of Marilyn Monroe, and at Meiling in Austria, the still unexplained deaths of the Crown Prince Rudolph and his lover at that hunting lodge in the Vienna woods. The fascination is still there. I have to tell you, though, I've actually listened to one of there's the real person doing what she did so brilliantly, so long, 15 years within the royal family. But I have listened, I've heard one of these songs, and I'm afraid it's fairly dire. I mean, it's that rather dreary recitative, you know, song speaking that ruins so many modern musicals. So, of course, there's interest. It's inevitable. She's a fascinating subject. But it's a bit tough to take if you knew her, and even if you didn't know her, but just merely admired her.
Liz, look, I think it's all awful. I've got to say, I think it's really awful and not good for the family, and we should all know better. But it's all our fault. We're putting the demand out there, so people are responding to it.
We're not.
Well, no.
But, we're not. Producers are. Why I think this is in such bad taste is because of what is going on at the moment. And here we have a production for one night only, and they're calling it a premiere, which was a total flop in New York on Broadway, 2021. There were 33 performances, 16 previews, and it came off. That was 2021. Why is it suddenly being shown here? It had the worst preview. The New York Times said, we don't think this is the absolute worst production ever. But, you know, so why is it being shown tonight for one night only? I could understand, before I did the research, I could understand if this was going to be a run of, say, Christmas, New Year, etc. It's one night only. In which case, if it was a long run, no, the investors, you can't pull it because of the money involved. One night only, you could pull it. You could do it on another day, which might be more acceptable. Whether it's pure entertainment or not, that's debatable. I haven't seen it. I can't comment. I would have thought, yes, you know, it is, what is it, 26, 27 years since she died. Possibly she will go down in history like Queen Elizabeth I. We still watch things on this, but I think this is such bad taste. I think if they couldn't make it work on Broadway, why have they brought it here and tonight and at this time of all time?
But Liz, are you
that
saying
is bad taste.
If it had been successful on Broadway, then it would have been OK? You know, as you say, you draw the parallels to endless movies that are still made about queens from centuries ago, and we see all the depictions in movies and films of our British monarchy, current British monarchy, and recently departed.
Right.
You know, British people are fascinated by the royal family.
Yes, but there's a time and place for everything. You have two sons, whatever you might think of one of them, they are still living. And this was their mother. And to put on a camp musical featuring somebody who, you know, was their mother, who died in a tragic death. And Michael, you should be aware of that, having worked with Mohammed Al Fayed at Harrods, which is where we met. No, I think there's more to all this. I don't understand why tonight, for one night only, it's being put on. When you say,
let's get Michael back in for a word on this. I mean, there is a question of taste, isn't there, Michael?
I am, of course, as Liz says, painfully and dreadfully aware of this death 26 years and 3 months ago, and I think about it every day. And I'm quite sure her sons do, and everything that Liz says is absolutely right. But as Sam Goldwyn said in Hollywood many years ago, nobody ever went bust by underestimating the taste of the public. And I'm afraid that's what's going on here. There have been attempts in the past. There was one serious play called Truth Lies Diana that tried to examine circumstances around her tragic death, but that was largely ignored by the serious press. The thing is, it is inevitable. There's nothing we can do about it. The fascination of Diana will continue. And there we see her at the Taj Mahal. And that was a very poignant moment. And other episodes in her life. And I don't know whether Liz will agree with me, but I believe that her fascination was that she wasn't a saint. She didn't believe she was a saint. She didn't pretend to be, but she did put people in touch with the better side of themselves, their better angels. And I think that is why she had the impact that she has and continues to have. That I applaud. This show, from what I've heard of it, I do not applaud. It's exploitation. I think art is either good or it's not good. I think that is the standard we have to approach things by. And if, as Liz says, this was a turkey on Broadway, then maybe its Christmas has come too early.
Well, look, on that note, we better leave it. Just we could talk to you for hours both about this one. But Michael, Liz, thank you both very much indeed.